I think, and this is, what do you think about using angle grinders for this? I think you could do that, no problem, but please wear a mask, because I know a gal that got lung cancer and died. And she used an angle grinder for a long time. She didn't smoke, and all that junk got in her lungs. And the bump at the apex. No, not at the apex, the bump. Okay, there's a bump. A lot of times you'll find right here. It's actually right here. And it's on the bone itself. And a lot of times it'll get some, you can kind of feel it here. So a lot of times people try and dig that out. Don't do that. Because it's on the bone. I don't know if you can see it, but it's hard to see, but there's a lump and a bump there. And sometimes people think that it's not supposed to be there, and they try and take it out. It's just right at the end, right in here. Sometimes it'll get some compressed sole. You don't want a big nodule there, but there's always going to be a slight raised spot right there. Okay, my horse used to have the lump at the end of the bar. Well, I mean, it's not supposed to be as pronounced as some of them are, where it just gets built up and built up. Yeah, but there's always going to be a slight raised spot right here, because it's in the bone. I'm taking questions. You mean on the side? To go into the wall to help restore the buttress wall. Is the part overgrown bumps of sole or wall? Oh, well, it's, sole and bar wall grow into here. Grow back into here from back forward. So it's sole if it's partially here, and it can be kind of the bar wall if it's right here. See, where's the widest part of the foot on this? It's right here. So Sandra says, what if the frog looks like it's glued together with that bump lump at the end of the bar? Sometimes I see that in flat feet when the apex of the frog is deeper. You mean right here, there's no definition? It just looks all mushed together? Well, I think you just got to start kind of defining your frog and bring it over a little. Yeah, this whole foot, if it gets out of hand, it can look like it's just all merged together, kind of smushed and bent and stuff like that. But as you start trimming your frogs correctly and thinking about, look at the frog corium. Okay, the frog corium ends right in down here. And then you've got the bottom of the collateral groove there. And then over here is where the sole starts. So, you just got to gently start moving stuff and defining stuff. And then it'll start, moving into place. Like, I know what you mean, because I've had messed up frogs because I didn't trim them and it just got all meh. But as I slowly started to define them, everything started kind of taking its own spot where it was supposed to be. Do we want there to be a deep or shallow collateral grooves when correct? They're going to be relatively deep because you're going to have some sole. There's the bottom of your collateral groove right there. See, now it's got a layer of, I don't know if you call it sole or what, but whatever grows from that to the bottom here. Actually, okay, this ain't a very good one to show you on, but actually, this is what lays in the collateral groove right there. Now, that's your bar wall. Now, here's the thing. You see this? The bars became disconnected from where they should be connected at the coffin bone. Yeah, and Pete Ramey teaches that the grooves determine sole depth too, And so, yeah, that's definitely going to help with that, help you determine that. But if your heels are the correct heights, you're going to know you have some sole depth as well. Because look here, here's the end of the periopal. flap right here. 1 1/8 inch. Now I can't find it. Okay, yep, that's right there. Okay, so let's say I'm doing that trim, Strasser trim, where I trim this down to 3 cms. Right here. That's 3 cms. Okay, right about there. Now let's look at that. Here's the bottom of my heel. There's where they would cut the heel. Okay, now I want you to look at the heel. Here's your heel, okay? Sole has to grow from the bottom of here, right? Okay, see, I don't always think that the bottom of the collateral grooves is going to tell you what you need to know in every case. Okay, so here's your heel. Now, if I cut my heel wall to here, let's see if I can get that. How much sole am I going to have? Not very much, right? Here's my heel. There's where I cut it to. Right there. It's not going to give me much sole on my heel. Right here. But the more heel you have, the more heel buttress you have, the more sole that's going to grow from here that way. And so, yeah, the deeper the collateral groove would be. Yes, it is true. The bar can get jammed up inside if not trimmed properly, just like hoof wall can jam up. See, look at that. See this? Oh, this is what I was going to tell you. See this here on a fresh hoof? This is so soft. It's covered with peri-opal frog-like material. It is soft and cushiony. That black there, it would be soft and cushiony, and it lays right up in here. Okay, it's not sole. It's more like a combination between frog material and peri-opal skin that is really soft and cushiony. So that, these things right here that lay up in there, they're cushioned. So if the frog grows, or the bar grows, it can push up, which this one did. I don't know if you can see it. See how they pushed up? That hurt. Okay? Now, how do I know about that bar lump? Because that bar lump is right here. See there? That's where that lump is. If you over thin this area out, this bar can become disconnected and pull up that way. See there? See that bar? I don't know if you can see it. It's right there. It should be connected right here. Answer the question from Penny. In hoof evaluation part 4 with the clay model, you showed how to separate the false buttress wall from the bar. Can you show how to do that? Okay, I think I have the parts here. Here's the hoof wall. Here's the bar wall. Okay, so that'd be the heel buttress. Okay, this would be sole. Okay, this would be like your heel buttress. Okay, here's your sole, here's your bar wall. As the heel is trimmed out and all this is brought down and moves forward as the heel is trimmed out. Okay, and all this starts to be pulled forward and gets trimmed out more and more every time. Okay, eventually you do wind up trimming this buttress out. It's hard for me to show. And what happens is, once the buttress is out, then the bar wall in front of the buttress and the side wall come together and form kind of a false buttress there. And that is when your foot is getting shorter going this way. This is kind of a mess. So that's kind of what happens. You know, yeah, what Michelle says here. If the bars jam up, doesn't that give the impression of a deep collateral groove, which makes you think you have thick sole? So you think you're doing well, but actually the bar is jammed up and uncomfortable. Yeah, I can see that. That could happen for sure. We're going to look at some hooves. What Barb says, once the toes are kept correct, and the quarters move back where they belong, and the heel buttresses grow back, the sole gets thicker? Yes, it does. All of that works to get the sole in its correct place so that it will grow to its optimum thickness. Penny says, yes, but how do you use your knife to release the hold on the sidewall? Well, I just try and define the bar wall and the outer wall. See, like this bar is laid over. This is a bad foot, but that bar would have been trimmed down to there, and I just would have come up and made sure to try and define it, and the foot itself will start growing in and pushing back. This is all about, as far as I know so far, just trying to get stuff defined. You know, where's the bar should be as much as possible. The toe, the walls, the pillars, the quarters, you know, just working at getting everything kind of defined and then letting it do its thing is what you got to do. But first you got to know where your foot's at. Okay, so Penny, can I share your horse? Okay, let me answer this question real quick that Barb made. Once all the horn tubules are in alignment and the heels are back to good, will the sole tend to slough itself, or will false sole build up, or does that depend on the terrain? That depends on the horse and the terrain. But by then, you know enough to know what to take out if you have to. We're going to do a hoof evaluation. See, what's happened is because they told us not to trim the toe, because look, if you're not going to trim the toe callus, you're not going to trim the toe, right? So the toes just kept getting longer and higher. That was one of the first things I figured out, that this toe callus thing was a bunch of hooey. Don't touch the toe callus. Remember that? Oh, don't touch the frog. You know, but how does that work? You don't trim the toe, but you trim the heels down to nothing. Okay, so we're going to look at Penny's horse's feet. And I'm going to do a blow-by-blow commentary. You mean a 45-degree hairline? Doesn't she put it down to a 30-degree hairline? What you want is about an 18 to a 20-degree hairline. Okay, Penny, is this one of your horse's feet? Here we go. Okay, from April. Okay, and these are the ones you just took, isn't that right? Okay, now one thing that Penny said, because she never really washed her horse's feet like that before, was that after she had to wash them several times, and after she washed them several times, she found that they were all sticky because they were just covered with periopal skin. This is a new one here. Okay, now when you look at this foot, the one thing that I see here first is the cartilage here is really, really kind of stiff. And it looks like at some point the heels were trimmed out and that the periopal is kind of stretched here. I think this foot has to fill in and come back to this cartilage right here. See, and this is what'll happen too. When the heels have been trimmed out. Now, Penny said, and this is what makes me suspicious, when periopal goes wild, something is wrong. Okay, that periopal skin surrounds the whole foot. It gets thicker back here where it covers up the coronary band that grows the heel buttress. Okay, there's a light. Did you know that the periopal skin is hooked to the top of the hoof capsule and to the hide? It is what hooks the foot, connects the foot to the leg and to the hide. And so when something is going on that is compromising the foot, the periopal skin will go wild. It will grow like crazy. It will get thick. It will stretch. It will do whatever it has to do to try and keep that foot connected, that hoof capsule connected to that foot. Penny said that the whole foot was sticky And you can see the periopal skin on this foot. See it? You know, and that is because back here, the foot is compromised. Look at the cartilage here. See, it's odd shaped. Remember, your foot is not just this part right here, the hoof capsule. The foot extends up into here to this cartilage, and it's got a natural shape, and so you have to look for the correct shape. What I see here possibly is that some of this heel wall is trimmed out right here, and look at how thick the periopal skin is here. Let's go on. Okay, now it doesn't look too bad here. Okay, but what I do see here is petrified frog. Really petrified. And you know how if you get really dried or callous skin, okay, that's what your frogs will do. If you let them get really petrified and really super hard to where you can't, they're like rocks. Okay, see, they can crack up in here too. The Swedish hoof school guy took a trip to Nevada, and he found a bunch of lame wild horses because he called it desert thrush. But what it was their frogs got so dried out and they cracked like up in here that, of course, that could crack right up into the sensitive tissues, you see? So that is why you have got to get all petrified frog off. Yeah, I just see where you could really clean up this frog. Mapping your bars is going to really help you. I wouldn't worry about, if you just map your bars, see, down to there, and then just bring that over gently and just start defining your bars a little more, that's going to really help out. And just really take off any petrified frog, and just stay consistent in mapping this foot. See, and giving the quarters the relief by the way I was showing you that I beveled there, and just stay consistent with the mapping, and the foot will start to change and get healthier. See, that could turn into something that is painful right there. That's why you want to make sure your frog is cleaned up good. See, but your feet, from this viewpoint aren't looking all that bad. But again, you do need to define these bars. They need to come over to here. See, right down there. Okay, so you want to find the true apex of your frog. That's not it. The bars are part of the heel buttress. That's right, Rufus. Yeah, if you look at a buttress, okay, a buttress has to have support. So these bars, they butt up against the back of the heel buttress, or the heel, or the coffin bone here. That stabilizes it. There's your buttress. Okay, Penny's saying got it. Okay, so Penny, you gotta make sure you define the true apex of your frog. And then from the sides of the frog right down here to your heels. Okay. Right there. Okay, this bar here has to come over to here where the line is. If you keep it that way, that's going to help this whole area. See? And I would watch that crack. Also, I would tell everybody, at least that lives here in America, to get new hoof if you haven't gotten it already. How long are the heels? It's not in Canada yet. Darn it, it should be. Yes, they don't necessarily have to, but they can. They can do all of that. They can overlay, and then they can grow in to the side of the frog corium. I'm answering this because... yes, but that's okay. Here, I'm getting backed up. Okay, Anne asks, But when you take the bar back to where they belong, don't they become lower than the buttress? Okay, I'm going to show you something. Okay, I was messing around one day, and I decided to line up or to line the coffin bone with clay to see what it was truly shaped like. Okay, so that is what your coffin bone and the bars together are truly shaped like. You know, if you're to put that and you're to wrap those around the edge and make them a bar, see how they get smaller into nothing here. You know, the bars aren't meant to bear weight. They're really weak. You know, they're not meant to bear weight. They're meant to support this sole right here and to be part of the buttress wall because they connect into the back of here. Okay, and to support the buttress so it doesn't get pushed forward. Here, I'll show you this coffin bone. I was just messing around. I just wanted to know, what is the shape of this foot really? Trying to see what all I got here. There's that coffin bone. Okay, look here. Now it's setting flat, but look at the toe. You see how that thing couldn't set flat? Because look at the toe part. It just was never created to set flat. See there? So you don't notice these little things on this stuff till you mess around with it for hours. That if you do the mapping and you start paying attention, see, we didn't hit much on, you need to look at your horizontal growth rings. Here, we're going to look at this. Look at this. Okay. Everybody see the hair right here? How it sticks up? See that? When your foot is right, the hair will lay down smoothly. Okay? This shows jamming. Wall jamming. Wall is jammed up and pushed the hair follicles up. Okay, here you can see it now. Well, I can't find it, but I took this foot and I straightened it out so it was straight. Okay, so you could see the jamming there. You see that? That's jamming in the pillars. Okay, gradually as you rasp the foot correctly and get the right length and things like that, this jamming will come out and this hairline will lay down and this wall will go more like that. See, it can be pushed up that much. Barb Miracle says, it seems as though the feet go from hard on the perimeter to soft toward the center to allow for flex, and that's why the bars are softer and don't bear weight like the walls. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I just think, see, that some of the heel is kind of trimmed out right here. And sometimes the periopal can kind of cover up the heel buttress, but I think as you maintain a consistent trim, I mean, look at the periopal on this foot. It's clear down and thick right into here. Yeah, you definitely want to trim up this frog and get down to fresh frog. Okay, and just the same on every foot. Now, this is the nice thing. You do the same trim on every foot. Okay, you're just trying to define things and you're just trying to get within the general perimeters of the anatomy and create borders for things and boundaries. And then you let the growth of the foot take over and start correcting stuff. Okay, this must be this is a back foot. Again, got to trim this down. Okay. And that bevel I do in the quarters will really help this foot here. Okay. Now, this is a forward view. Okay. Now you can see how there's a little bit of jamming here, but gradually this will all come out. You know, this foot overall doesn't look too bad. And what you'll see is the quality of the hoof wall will get better as well. Yeah, I think the periopal is a lot like our cuticle. All right, I'm out of that one. Okay, I do.